This is a short video on applications of rational equations. So here's a pretty common type of question. Bob does a job in 9 hours, while Alice can do the same job in 6 hours. So how fast can they do the job if they work together? So what I want to start off with is what's the most common mistake that people make with this is they're going to say that how long it takes Bob, 9 hours, plus how long it takes Alice, 6 hours, should be how fast they can do the job together. Now wait a minute, think about that. That's saying it's going to take them 15 hours if they work together. That doesn't make any sense. If they're working together, they should be able to get the job faster than if they individually worked, right? Unless they're just bickering the whole time, which isn't the case. We're going to assume Alice and Bob get along really well. So you shouldn't get a time that takes longer than either one of them individually. So it's not right to just add the times together, but maybe the intuition to add some stuff together is okay. How do we make this work? So what we should do is instead of thinking about how long it takes them, let's think about kind of Bob and Alice's rate of work. In other words, how much of the job do they get done in 1 hour? So let's think about Bob. It takes Bob 9 hours to do the whole job. In 1 hour then, that means that Bob has 1/9 of the job done. Similarly, it takes Alice 6 hours to get the whole job done. So in 1 hour, she's got 1/6 of the job done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's let X be the time that it takes them to work together. So that means that in 1 hour, they have 1/X of the job done, that amount of the job done. Just like we set up for Bob's 1/9 and Alice's 1/6. Do the same thing with X. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to relate these three quantities, 1/9, 1/6, and 1/X. And if we relate those three things, what should we have? Well, the total of the amount done by each of them, which would be 1/9 plus 1/6, that ought to be the same as the amount done if they work together. And so that is where we set up an equation where we can figure out how long it takes them to work together. That's what X is. So this is a rational equation. Just because you see maybe that X is in the denominator, I could categorize it as a rational equation. And what we'll do is we'll just add those fractions together and solve for X. So before I go on, there are some variations of this problem where it might be the case that maybe they tell you how long it takes them to work together, in which case the 1/X would maybe be Alice's number there. And so just when you're reading the question, just be careful about what information they give you, but they usually have this same setup. Anyway, if we're going to finish solving this, on the left side in the orange, you need a common denominator, which would be 18 for 9 and 6. So multiply 1/9 by 2 in the top and bottom, and multiply 1/6 by 3 in the top and bottom. Then when you multiply and add those things together, you should have 5 in the top. Over 18 is 1/X. Now some of you guys like to cross multiply, which is what I want to do. If you're comfortable with just flipping both sides, that's fine too. If you go the cross multiply route though, you should get 5x equals 18, so divide by 5 to get that x is 18/5. If you punch that into a calculator, you'd see that it would take them about 3.6 hours to get the job done if they work together.